Let's do it.
What's up, guys? Your Uncle Luke is live tonight, and if you didn't know, I have a very, very special guest, and his name is Spencer Johnson. Spencer started right around the same time I did, like maybe right after me, but he has super blown up. He's the next Daniel Braun, I think, maybe, which is a compliment.
Yeah.
But we do have a few people in here I want to acknowledge before we kind of get started, and we've got a lot of the same people from the community. You guys are a great community. Everybody stays super positive, and it makes me just really happy to be part of this. Rewards Master's in the house. If you haven't checked out his channel, check it out. He's another guy with a different perspective that I like to watch because he thinks a little differently than me. Mr. Cesar Joel. It says two big-time content creators, but nobody's as big-time as Cesar Joel.
Exactly right. 101.
That's right. Rami's in the house. I some of these names I don't recognize, so I think Spencer brought his guys over.
I might have. We'll see.
We got one of my favorites. Oh, how do I get on? Oh, one of my favorites, Rich with Points. If you have not checked out his channel and his website, please do so. His website should be required reading or required research before you ever come on live, before you ever start your credit card game. And that goes from day one to expert level. His website's awesome. One of my favorites. Isaiah Laufenberg. What's up, man? Love this duo. Like, Ben go Birds. What? Ben Cardi.
Insane.
Who are the Birds? Is that the Cardinals?
The Eagles.
I know.
Unfortunately.
Okay. Ask Spencer what's the best state in the union and why is it? Listen, I can't argue with you guys. I've only been to Texas for short periods of time, but I'm a big fan. I've only been to the cities, so I imagine the outskirts are pretty awesome too. But I'm a big fan of the Texas food scene in particular. My goodness, Dallas and Houston.
Yeah, we don't get quite as much, but Austin's still good too.
Oh yeah. Austin has, if we could shake that reputation for all the crazies moving in there, you guys would be great.
I know.
Mr. Chad's Money Minutes. If you haven't watched the live with him, go back and check it out. Really good. SoCal Skater says, "Yo, Spencer."
What's up?
James Duff loves the content. Thank you, James, so much. We got this is Brady.
Oh,
you met Brady down in New Orleans, and
I got that same picture from that same angle right there.
Yeah. He's going to be in Puerto Rico. Brady, we're going to talk about Puerto Rico here in a little while. But yeah, I'm super excited for Puerto Rico. I'm super excited to take my little boy down there because the fort and it's Puerto Rico. Rami wasn't born in Texas, but he got here as soon as he could. I like your style. All right, so we're going to get started, guys. We're going to do about an hour and 20 minutes tonight because football is on at 8:30. Like I told Spencer, I'm probably not going to watch it because I have to go to sleep, but I know a lot of people do, and I don't want them to have to choose foosball or credit cards.
That's why you got to come to Austin, come to Texas. Central Standard Time, Luke. That's 7:30 for me.
Yeah. But see, I get up at 5 a.m., so 6 a.m. would probably be a little easier. But I need I'm 48 years old, so I need all the beauty sleep I can get because I have lost most of my beauty. So
that's not true.
I would like to come to Austin because I really would like to watch the Spurs. And like I said,
come down, make a trip. San Antonio's great too. Like, there's a lot of cool hotels over there.
I want to say Southwest flies direct from Columbus to Austin. I'm going to check that out.
Yeah,
that might be a fun, quick weekend getaway. All right, we do want to start out with a very special version of Spencer's story. I always like to hear how we got here. Most of the people that watch my channel are familiar with my background and things like that. I know a lot of people are familiar with yours, but I don't think the audiences are quite exactly the same. So for those of the audience that aren't completely familiar with you, let's hear your story. Let's hear how we got here.
Yeah, for sure. So, well, first of all, thank you for having me, Luke. I'm excited to do this. I've been starting to do my own lives on my channel, and it's sometimes hard doing it all by myself. So getting to do it with somebody else is a lot of fun. But yeah, let's see my story. I was born and raised in Austin, first of all. So I've kind of always been here. I'm not one of the crazies moving in, don't worry. But went to school at the University of Texas. I was studying civil engineering, And at that same time, I kind of got into like the credit card space, like started watching the credit card YouTubers. Mainly at that time, it really was only like Ask Sebi and Ben Hedges for the most part. I think Daniel started a little bit before me. And I kind of was just sitting there at the same time, was like getting into the just personal finance in general, credit card stuff, and YouTube. Like I've always loved YouTube. I've posted videos like when I was a kid, I'd post like random videos, some gaming content, just random stuff. So I've always kind of liked this space. So those two kind of passions for YouTube and credit cards merged at the same time. And I felt like there was kind of like an untapped market for people more like my age or just getting started with credit cards. And I figured if I just documented my journey on YouTube, that's something that nobody else can really replicate. So I said, you know, why not me? Why not just start talking about my stuff? And also, I mean, I know a lot of people here probably can agree that this space is so great. Like this credit community is so great on YouTube because everyday life, you don't really talk to many people that care about this stuff. I met one person in our dog park the other day that is into it. And I was like, this is crazy. I actually get to talk to somebody in real life about this.
Most people think we're all crazy.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, well, I can meet people online that do this and just share my thoughts about it. And yeah, that was March of 2022 that I started it. So we're going on like 3.5 years now, something like that. And yeah, I've been doing it full time for a couple of years now, left the civil engineering world, and yeah, here we are. So that's a short story of it, I guess.
So for those of us that are just Neanderthals or barbarians, what exactly is a civil engineer? Because I know what the county engineer's office does, but what exactly is a civil engineer in generic terms?
Yeah, in generic terms, well, I guess that's kind of the best way to describe it, right? Whenever I was going into college, I knew that I had like, I guess like the grades to do something maybe in the engineering world, but didn't know what I wanted to do specifically. So I saw like mechanical and electrical and petroleum, all this stuff that I was like, that's a little specific for me. And I knew that civil was like basically the most broad. So covering things like the geotechnical, the water resource engineering, the land, all the groundwork and stuff. So basically a civil engineer is everything for infrastructure. So everything under the ground is kind of what we cover for the most part. And then, mechanical or architectural, all those people come in after the fact and make everything.
Now, is that a lot of times a government job?
There are a lot of government jobs with civil. I worked in the private field. I felt like that was kind of just better. I worked for like a smaller company in Austin, and I really liked that. I was getting to the stage where I just wanted to like just make good connections in the industry and like really get to see the full part of the business. Because again, I'm really big into the business and the, I was getting into the YouTube business and all that at the same time. And so yeah, I got to kind of see the back end of a smaller company, and that was a lot of fun. But there are some really boring civil engineering projects that are public. I will say that.
Now, boring jobs are not all that bad. Sometimes a boring job is a blessing.
Yeah, I definitely went the complete opposite route with this now.
I don't want to cut you off, but this is an interesting post here. It says, background balloons around your age, and he tries to motivate himself, and you're one of his inspirations. So I think that's really cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. I leave up like my oldest videos for that reason, really, because it's like, I mean, my videos are pretty bad back then, but yeah, sometimes you just gotta post, horrible. That's the biggest thing. What made you start, Luke? Like, what made you decide to do it?
Oh man, my progression was I've had the same job for 25 years, but like a lot of young people, I was making a lot of money. Not a lot of money. I was making a good income, but I was just spending and being wild. I carried credit card debt, maybe $15,000 to $18,000 over 3 or 4 cards, just for no reason. Just because I would buy something and go, I don't want to pay that off. I want to hold this cash. So I got to the point where my first personal finance mission was I have to pay this credit card off. I was a big Dave Ramsey disciple. And I still love Dave Ramsey. I love that dude to death. Don't share all his beliefs, but I like his tough love, his masculine Christianity kind of thing going on. I like it. So I paid off my credit cards, and my wife, who was my girlfriend then, baked me a cake and to celebrate. And I was like, why? What's it? Apparently that's a big deal for people that are in debt. So that felt really good. So I started down this personal finance journey. Fast forward, I got a couple cash back cards. I think my first setup was the Wells Fargo Propel and the Fidelity 2% card.
There you go.
And here's the funny thing. I'm going to do a video on it sometime, but the Fidelity 2% card was instrumental in me buying my first rental property.
That's awesome.
That was the progression from the personal finance.
Yeah.
So fast forward to worldwide pandemic hits, and we realized this could be bad. I
Mhm.
said, well, I need a new hobby. I want to finally learn how these travel points work. So, and you could, if you don't, I don't know if anybody thinks like this, because I have weird thoughts, but I started watching YouTube videos and I thought, I don't think this guy knows as much as I do. I don't
Yeah.
like this guy talking as much. I think I can do this better. So
Mhm.
I made a channel, and like you said, my first few videos were so bad because I didn't have a camera. I
Yeah.
didn't have a computer. I had been tech savvy in the past years and years ago, but I had become a barbarian. So I had to learn how to turn a computer on. I had to learn how to set a camera up. I was very comfortable speaking in public, but I had never spoken in front of a camera. So
Yeah.
long story short is I saw it as a new hobby and a new challenge, and um, I'm still doing it. I think it's a lot of fun, and the community, I think, is probably the biggest factor in me still doing this. Like, I
Yeah.
don't, if it
Absolutely.
wasn't for all these great people, I don't know if I'd still be doing this as far as YouTube.
No, there's no way. I have a buddy that I went to like middle and high school with that has a YouTube channel in a completely different niche, and there is really he has a much bigger audience than we do, but of course we're in this kind of like micro niche. But for his comment section and all of that, it is like very depressing. Like I don't think I could spend any time making the videos he does just because there is no community. Like they're just there for some kind of value, or they're there to share some kind of complaint and then get out. And it's like, well, that just doesn't sit right with me. Like doing what we do, he's so jealous of. Like he goes through our comments and he's like, dude, you have it
Yeah.
so nice. And I've always said the same thing.
We
It's
have a
great.
very small number of negative comments. I
Yeah.
mean, they're
Yeah.
they're there, and it's usually somebody who doesn't understand what we do, or it's just
Right.
somebody who's just a terrible person in general. They
Yeah.
just want an outlet for their terribleness. But for the most part, our community is so great.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It's quite I feel really blessed to be able to do this like for a job. It's really amazing.
Now, how long do you see yourself doing this, or do you have some type of uh, uh, contingency plan for this YouTube stuff? Because there's a million things you can do off this, right?
Yeah, there's so much that goes through my head with it. Honestly, I think the short answer is like I don't really want to give myself a contingency plan at all. Like this is what I'm going to be doing, and I'll find a way to make it work. Like I mean, Luke, on the business side, that this thing can get a little bit difficult, especially with all the compliance and stuff that's happening recently, and everybody's seen that across everybody's channels. All the audience has seen that.
What
Um,
about like with Ben Hedges? Are you going to purchase an Airbnb with your
no,
YouTube money and kind of diversify that way? I think that's kind of cool.
I mean, yeah, maybe one day. I got to buy my own house first, Luke. Come on now.
Yeah.
I can't even afford a house yet. But no, I mean, I think, really, it's like if I ever wanted to step away from YouTube, I don't see this being the case. But if I ever did, at least I have that backup of a degree that's in engineering. But
Yeah.
I really don't want to go back to that world. Like the goal is to always be self-sustaining at this point. But yeah, I love what I do, so I don't see a reason to really change, and I'll be in this community as long as I can, as long as people will have me.
That's awesome. Real quick, Mr. SoCal Skater. Uncle Luke, what professional work field are you involved in? We don't talk about my work. It's the only thing I'm not transparent about, and I don't think that'll ever change. I
You
just
got to
have a
sign up for
job.
the membership to see that, the paid membership.
Yeah, I don't even tell the members, man. I hear, if you want to find out, come to the meetup in Puerto Rico.
There you go.
I don't have a problem telling people to their faces, but I have a job where I need to keep that job separately from an online personality.
Yeah.
So that's the only hint I can give you.
Mm.
But FC just hit us with a 5-spot
God.
super sticker. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it
That's awesome.
so much. Ramsey talks about banks and credit companies like they're criminals. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know how far off he is, but I like Dave. As I think I would jive with Dave as a person.
Yeah.
I think he has that that mentor, kind of rough mentor personality, and I like the fact that he just tells you you're stupid.
Yeah, and you also have to remember too that who his audience is, right? Like he can't be changing up his message to people that
Right.
are stuck in a lot of debt. Like he has to basically make the banks and credit the enemy, right? If not, then people wouldn't change their situation. So
Yeah,
I completely respect it.
And what he does for that crowd of people, it really is truly amazing.
Yeah.
Like those success stories are they almost can bring a tear to your eye.
Mm-hmm.
The community can help out how to set up a channel and what you need. Yeah, you're right about that. I've gotten a lot of advice and a lot of tips and a lot of community's been great, man. It just has.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Luke worked for the I do not work for the CIA. That's the last hint.
That's what a person in the CIA would want you to think. So
yeah, you're right. Are you in the? I don't know what that is, but no, I don't know what it is. Oh, Rich with points just hit us with gifted 5. If you got the membership, comment down here and let us know you got it. Rich, that is super. Appreciate it a lot, man.
That's awesome.
Luke secretly works in the C-suite of a mega company, but can't say it because it costs millions if the public finds out. No, I don't. Ask too many questions about Luke. You might disappear. Well, stranger things have happened, I guess.
Exactly.
I do not. I would not work for the FBI. Well, I shouldn't say that. Let's push on. You guys are asking too many questions about Uncle Luke's work, and eventually you're going to get it. All right, guys, let's switch gears here. And if you are a fan of the channel, you know we have a segment called What'd You Book? Now, the difference between my channel and some other people's channels, not Spencer's, but some people, is I want to hear this hugely outlandish redemption you just booked. I want to hear, if you got 14 cents per point to fly first class to Singapore, I want to hear about it. You are 100% allowed to brag on this channel. And you know why? Because nobody's going to get mad. They're all going to cheer for you, which is just crazy how our community is. Alex just got a membership. Nice, Alex. Milosevic.
Oh, yeah. Another new channel member. Look at that. 6 already.
Alex, are you related to any of the other Milosevic's that might be famous? Like Slobodin? Some of you young guys don't remember him.
I don't even.
Okay. I'm not young. Luke has a set of skills. I used to have some decent skills. All right. So we're going to let you switch from the, is it the IHG?
I think the
maybe
Hilton Garden. Yeah.
To the Caribe, all points. 7 points with Philip. I think a lot of us are going to be in that same hotel. I know myself and Cesar are going to be there. So that it looks like a great. I did some research on that hotel, and it was Hilton's first property outside continental United States. It's a fairly old property, but it's had some big renovation periods. So
I didn't get that one, unfortunately.
Oh, really?
It was already sold out whenever I booked.
Did you go to Hyatt?
No, I didn't. I'm at, I think, a Marriott or something.
Okay.
Yeah. It's right next to there, so I'm going to be bumming it on y'all's beach. We'll see how it goes.
Sleepy Rod's going LAX to Madrid for 8K. Jeez, man. Wow. That's insane. And 5 cents per point economy, but yeah, dude, here's the thing. I say things about economy class, but in reality, if I was younger or tougher, I would be smoking a game with these economy deals. And 8,000 points to go from LA to Madrid. Golly, man, that's insane. That is insane.
It really is.
Oh, yeah, he's talking about the Milosevic. Oh, no, I'm not. Well, okay, we're gonna have to ignore these, Spencer. We're getting down a path.
Oh, they took your name even.
Yeah, well, he's the other. There's a few Uncle Lukes. It's a full-time job is making your wife happy. I don't know how good I am at that, but I definitely try. I try. Kevin Gwynn's been in Texas 10 times. Yeah, nice. I don't know anybody who's not really a fan of Texas. Okay, Here we go. Cesar. And we talked about this on the live I did with Cesar. He's taken 11 people to Denver. And here's I wonder if he puts it in here. Yeah. Because he's from Puerto Rico. He lives in Puerto Rico. And these family members have never seen snow. So he's taking them at Christmas time to Denver, where they have a lot of snow. But that is so cool. And he's going to Amsterdam on KLM, that's fun. We flew from Toronto to Amsterdam on KLM, and I really liked it. We actually booked the Kimpton there originally, and I changed it. But Cesar,
yeah, we have a that's the route that I take really anywhere in Europe is Austin to Amsterdam, and then all on KLM, and then connect anywhere in Europe. Basically, we only have one.
It's the perfect
from Austin, basically.
It's the perfect hub in Europe, really.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. The rewards master, 87K Emirates to Milan business class. Oh, that's a popular one. I've not done that one. I did look. I have a couple time slots coming up in 2026, and I did see Newark, New Jersey to Athens in August, and I was like, "Oh, I might snatch that one up." I did.
I just did that Emirates flight on the opposite way, Milan back to
Coming back.
JFK. Yeah, it was pretty great.
That's a fun one. I have not done that. James Duff's going to the meetup on American Airlines miles and staying at the IHG Wave. I don't know what that is. That's interesting.
I didn't even see that one actually.
Well, IHG has a handful of these. I don't know what category you put them in. They're under an Intercontinental, but they're higher than a budget hotel. And there's like 4 or 5 Indigo, Even, Vignette. There's like 4 or 5 different brands, and I'm telling you, we have been staying at them, and we've been loving life. Like they're like kind of in between when you don't quite want to go all the way luxury, but you also don't want to stay at a Holiday Inn. Which
are you getting were you getting the points from buying them or from card welcome offers for IHG?
I buy them every year, but I have I also have a fun way of earning IHG points because their credit cards are MasterCards. And if you're interested in that stuff like that, those kind of videos are on my membership. If you want to become a member, $2.99 a month, you can cancel anytime. I do have a couple videos on how I use MasterCards to earn quite a few points. It's not something I'm ever going to talk about publicly, but one of those extra things for members. Jonathan from Spanish Harlem. Jonathan always tells you he's in Spanish Harlem. He's I think he's one of Joe's guys.
There you go.
Will you guys be attending the San Juan? Yes, absolutely, man. Jonathan's going to be there. Jonathan, you're Puerto Rican, right? I think he's Puerto Rican. But yeah, I can't wait to meet all those guys in Puerto Rico.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's only what, 2 weeks away?
Yeah, it's really soon.
It's wild.
What a great idea to have it there, Cesar. Dallas to Philly on American Airlines with Atmos. You got economy, nothing crazy, but 2+ cents per point. Good job, Nex. Oh, every time someone brings up Denver, the first thing I think of is Zach Brown Band. Is that still a thing, Zach Brown Band? Is he still around?
I don't know, honestly. I really don't.
Tokyo to Brazil via Dubai. Wow. 2 A380 Emirates first class for 122,000. That's amazing, dude. That's a lot of flying, but that's also 3 really amazing destinations. And I think that means he's in Dubai for 28 hours. So you get that stop.
Oh,
so this dude's going to go from Tokyo to an overnight in Dubai and then Brazil. I don't know if you could beat those 3 destinations. I mean, that's pretty awesome, dude.
That's insane. Yeah, it looks like over 10 cents per point for that too.
Wow. Yeah, man. Cesar is ordering you guys to hit that like button to support. I agree with him. Newark to Athens is amazing. I did Emirates first class on that. Good. Chad does some really crazy stuff.
Chad's always out there. Yeah, World Traveler.
We'll miss you in Chicago in March working on St. Patrick's Day. Oh, man. I'm starting up my own channel. Okay.
Nice.
So Yamil to Lopez is going to start his own channel. We'll be looking out for the name. We're going to support it, buddy. Rich with points booked Christmas week vacation at Grand Cayman at the Hilton. Now, wait. There's not a Hilton in Grand Cayman. There's a Hampton. But I think that's what you're talking about because there's not a Hilton. That's awesome, though. I think you and your wife are going to really love Grand Cayman. It's such a chill vibe.
Great. I got my scuba license.
Oh, really?
Fun fact, yeah.
Was it on a cruise?
No, my uncle. That's actually how I got into traveling in general. My uncle's always taking us on like a trip a year. Me and my 2 cousins, and yeah, we went to the Cayman one year.
Okay, Jonathan is Puerto Rican and Spaniard. Nice, man. I gotta listen. I got a solo trip going to Madrid in January. Now I'm not super happy about going in January, but that's when I have the time to go by myself. But all about Spain, all about the Spanish speaking countries. I need to start learning my Spanish because we have a lot of Spanish speaking country trips. I don't know what that is.
There
Yeah,
it goes.
Richard
Hampton.
Hampton. Yeah, I was like, because I always look for a Hilton back when I was really staying at Hilton's. Um, all right, guys, we have talked about this a little bit, but
Mhm.
I just want to make sure everybody knows about it. I know it's short notice if you have not heard about it, but this is the third year in a row, and we've called it the Creator Meetup. It's not just for creators; it's for anybody in this points and miles game. And if you can't make it to Puerto Rico this year, then listen up for the fourth annual one. And
Mhm.
how this kind of went is the first year we met up in Vegas, and it turned out really good. It was small, but it was the first time all us nerds got together, and I think everybody kind of liked it. So the second one um, was kind of spearheaded by Chad's Money Minutes, was in New
Mhm.
Orleans, which happens to be my favorite American city. So last year was in New Orleans. It was even better. You agree?
Yeah, it was great. It was
And it
really
was
cool.
it was even better. And this year, the third one, Cesar Joel, who has his own channel. I don't know if if you speak Spanish, check it out. Even if you don't,
Mhm.
watch it so you can learn some Spanish. But he lives at least close to San Juan. So we're having a third one in San Juan. I'm super. And well, the actual meetup is November 8th. Now,
Mhm.
I think this is Veterans Day weekend, but a lot of people are going from around the 6th to the 11th. And I think this is going to be the biggest one. And it'll be the furthest one and the biggest one. But it's not just for creators, guys. It's for anybody who wants to nerd out on credit card points and miles. And I
Yeah.
will say this, when you meet folks face to face in person, that's when you get the next level knowledge of these tips and tricks that nobody should be talking about on YouTube.
Yep.
So if you show up, you might go away with some knowledge. There's a couple people. I'm waiting for my guy to show up. I'm waiting for I'm not going to say who he is, but he always comes in late. Once he gets here,
Mhm.
some of these guys know a lot of stuff, man.
Nice.
Speaking of Grand Cayman, it looks like they'll be taking a beating from Hurricane. When's Melissa coming? That's interesting.
It
I
looks
hope.
like Juan said it a couple messages later, like these next few days. Looks like it's landing in
Oh,
Jamaica.
oh boy. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, Jay say no. Jay say so. I have excellent credit. They sent me a pre. Okay, I must have missed the. I must have missed the first one.
Yeah, I didn't see that one either. Oh, I see it. 6:22 p.m.
$59 annual fee. $59 annual fee. All right, we'll get back to you, Jay say so. So back to the creators meetup. Apparently, I have not been to San Juan since I was 19 years old, I think. But I guess they built up this T-Mobile district. It's an entertainment district with all the restaurants and bars, and everything's kind of centrally located. And if you are interested, I think the best source of information that I know of is Anthony Venture's Discord. He has a section just for the meetup, so
Mhm.
check that out. I'm really excited. Love seeing everybody from the community.
Well, it just puts it to life, right? It's like all the stuff that we do, especially, like for us creators, it can be kind of like a lonely thing where we're just kind of like talking to a camera all the time. Like even this, like us getting to talk together over like a Zoom is like next level. But then whenever you meet people in person that or they've been maybe watching you and you've been talking in comments for years back and forth, like it's a really cool experience. So we
And
really
let's
should
face
maybe
it,
change the name to something different than
yeah,
creator meetup because everybody's always like, oh, I didn't know I could go. But
yeah. I think that's a good idea for the next one.
yeah,
Um,
but everybody can
but
come.
yeah, everybody can come, and I'm
Mhm.
telling you, every creator I know has no problem admitting that a lot of these audience members have way more knowledge than
Oh
we'll
yeah.
ever have with a
Yep.
lot of different things. So you won't see a bunch of egos in this space, I don't think.
No.
Oh, Saints, Bengals, Cowboys.
Saints bagel. Wow.
I don't, I, I
Are
don't
we going reverse
understand it.
record this year or something?
Here's the thing. I think they're all
These are all,
three
yeah, I
in
could
dire
say they're all
straits.
pretty bad teams.
Yeah, I like New Orleans, so by default I like. You know how in the NFL you have your team, but there's a couple other teams you like.
Hmm.
I've always liked the Saints. I've always. I'll age myself, but they used to back in the NFL, Spencer. You might not know this, but back in the day, there were only two divisions in a wild card. I think. And there was a wild card game, and the Saints used to always fight the Vikings for the wild card spot. But it never mattered because the 49ers won it all anyway. So when I was a kid, the Saints had a guy named Bobby Hebert and a bunch of great linebackers, and Saints were a cool team to watch, cool team to follow.
Yeah, it's again cool city too. Just a cool environment.
All right, what do we have here? So that's all we have about the creator meetup. If you can't go, don't worry about it. I would also expect, since we have all these creators in different parts of the country, I would expect soon that there's going to be some mini meetups.
Yeah, I actually just posted something about that on my community feed because I want to do one in Austin soon too. Just like
I think that would be
keep
cool.
It chill. Yeah, and then I want to. Yeah, I'd love to just go travel around. It's like this is what I get so excited about it that I'm like, okay, let's just do more.
Yeah,
the face to face, you just can't beat that. It's so good.
All right, we got the heart of the conversation coming up here, guys. We talked about some cool things. I got to get this. There we go. Whoops. We're going to talk about Spencer's actual credit card strategy. Now, I know if you guys follow his channel really close, you're going to have a really good idea what he's going to explain here, what he's going to talk about. But we got him on the spot today. And the main thing I want to know is not only what his strategy is, but what are his thoughts of maybe a pivot in the future? Are we going to see him veer off course, or we know he's a chase guy, but who's going to take over that secondary position one day? So I'll let you have it.
Yeah, no, I'm completely open to. I know everybody has different opinions in this space, so I'm really happy to get to talk about this on an open forum because I always want to do like rant videos, but I'm like, I don't know, I'll leave it for now. But yeah, so I think my strategy's already evolved a ton, over the past like 3 years. I went from starting with like the Chase trifecta like immediately, which I really love, and I love Chase's products in general, mainly just because of the transfer partners they have access to and my travel habits being from Austin. Like the fact that, Hyatt, of course, is a great hotel partner. There's not much you need to say about them. But then I like almost strictly fly Southwest domestically. So for the longest time, I mean, Chase is the only transfer partner to Southwest besides Bill.
Shout out to Southwest. They have a 25% transfer bonus right now with Chase.
Dude, I saw that came out today, I think, and I have never seen them do a transfer bonus to Southwest, which is pretty cool.
Never seen it.
Yeah, so I actually probably should take advantage of that a little bit. But yeah, I guess beginning of my journey was mainly Chase focused, as everybody's kind of is for the most part. Like I luckily started while I was under 524, really just started because I was banking with them, and then found out about the credit card game. After that, I kind of fell for a little bit of the hype and like went for like the Amex Gold card, and stuff like that, did the City Custom Cash, and started just kind of branching out into different ecosystems without much of a game plan, just trying to cover categories and not really thinking necessarily about like how they would be cohesive together. But yeah, I think eventually I got into Capital One with the Venture X as like my 8th card or something like that. And then almost after that point, it was all just welcome offer cards, basically. We got in a few cards for their benefits. But I would say that the majority of what you see on my channel, a lot of people obviously see me as like the Chase guy. And I think that's fair to be like assigned that name, I guess, just because I talk about them so much. But what I don't necessarily get to exclusively say on the channel too much is one of the biggest reasons that I am such a big fan of Chase is not just because of my strategy. Like I love Chase points. I love all of that, but I also utilize Amex, Capital One miles, City points, sometimes more than Chase points, depending on what travel I have coming up. But it's because they are great. They're a great ecosystem for the everyday card user. And that's really who I try to tailor my videos towards is like, I have conversations every day with my girlfriend, with my mom, with my friends who don't want 20 cards. They want 3 to 5 cards or whatever, and they're going to be set with that. So for them, having the flexibility of a 1 cent per point cash out rate with Chase or the ability to transfer out to partners or any of that, like that's why I'm so big on them. But yeah, I really do utilize all currencies. Like the Italy trip I just got back from, I used like 200,000 Amex points, 200,000 Capital One miles, I think like 300,000 Marriott points, and some built points and Chase points on top of that. But like the bulk of my international travel is usually booked through Amex and Capital One, just because I like to reserve the Chase points for domestic travel. While I used to have access to that 1.5 cent per point redemption rate through the portal specifically, but we can get into like the details. Yeah. Is that today?
Yeah, it ended today.
Yeah, I know I don't have access to any of the new Sapphire Reserve benefits until I think it's Monday, the 26th. So I'm still waiting on that. But yeah, I'm happy to get it into the weeds more on it if you want me to. But I would say for the most part, my travel strategy, or at least points and miles strategy up until this point, has mainly been Chase for Hyatt hotels or domestic airline bookings through their portal at the 1.5 cent per point rate on my Sapphire Reserve. Also because booking through that portal, all of my, like say with the hotels I'm booking with, if it's a Southwest flight through the portal, Southwest sees that booking through Chase's portal as a cash paid booking. So I earn extra points. I earn qualifying flights towards status. So it's actually a bit higher than 1.5 cents per point. And with the average redemption rate of most domestic airlines being under 1.5, it's been a great redemption method for me personally. So that's like, Hyatt and domestic flights with Chase. Built was mainly just for Hyatt. Amex and Capital One for the big international flights. And then, I'm sprinkling in some other hotel ecosystems, mainly Marriott right now through my Boundless and Ritz cards that I've had over the last couple of years. But that's the big overview.
So let me ask you this. Obviously, you've been honest. You've done some sign-up bonus hunting with cards that you probably don't think are long-term cards. Do you think you're going to continue with that, or do you think eventually that'll slow down? And if it does slow down, are you going to kind of pare that collection down to a certain number of cards or a certain number of issuers?
Yeah, so here's really the thing. I mean, I think I've already been in that stage for a bit, honestly, because I'm at, like if I look at my credit card management spreadsheet, which, I don't really know. I guess I can't really share it right now. But regardless, I have like the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 5 credit cards I've applied for, which is all the cards I've applied for in the last like 12 months or so. Those are going to get closed, after a year. So I'm already at that point where I'm just really getting cards for the offers, or like the Southwest cards for the companion pass. I think the big question at that point then becomes, like you said, like what becomes my daily setup if I'm like trying to kind of simplify things a little bit. And that's something I've been struggling with a bit, just because, I mean, as we know, and this is why I understand Chase, people hate on Chase, is that like I can't really justify using the Freedom Unlimited right now at 1.5x whenever there's cards that give you 2x. So it's like that's a big drop. Really, the only competitive categories I have from the Chase cards are 5% back on rotating categories, and I guess technically 3x on dining, and then 4x back with airlines and hotels through my reserve.
Yeah.
But also I have like the Amex Business Gold that gives me 4x back on dining. And it's like stuff like that. You kind of just have to start thinking about how you're going to merge the two. And can you remind me what your questions were, just because I want to make sure.
Just do you think you're going to pare it down to a certain number of issuers? And obviously you're still going to get a sign-up bonus.
Yeah.
But do you think you're ever going to find that kind of like that permanent setup that is for spend that complements the sign-up bonuses?
Yeah, I'm actually kind of in the process of, I've been wanting to make a video about like my dream credit card setup, because I think that's really interesting, and basically this exact topic. And I've had a hard time, honestly, like making it, and that's why I haven't yet, just because there's so much going on. I think
let me ask
the way
you this.
that it would go.
Let me ask you this. We'll make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
So you have Chase, Capital One, Amex, and Citi.
Yeah.
That's 4, right? So that's the big 4.
Yeah.
I don't really talk about the Built card because I don't care about it. So if you had to give up one right now, who's on the chopping block?
Capital One, for me, for sure. Like I think that one's pretty easy, honestly, just because I know a lot of people aren't going to agree with that, but the fact of the matter is just that, like, for me, their cards aren't that exciting anymore. I think if you're looking for just a straight earning setup, I mean, the Citi trifecta is going to blow everyone else out of the water on the transferable currency side, just for daily spend at 3x, 2 to 5x back, I guess, but mainly 3 to 5x. So if I had to like just strictly go with an earning setup, it probably would be like the Citi trifecta. But, luckily they have American Airlines as a partner, which helps. I think what I was going to say with the Chase side is just that I don't think I'll ever not get Chase cards, which is what I mentioned in my video about like my new Chase card strategy. But the fact of the matter is it's not that I'm going to be spending on their cards necessarily, but I will always probably be chasing like ink welcome offers or hotel card welcome offers with them. Like that's going to be the name of the game to top up my point balances there, and my earning would be directed somewhere else. But I'm also really big into the hybrid approach too. Like I have a big, like, I guess a devil on my shoulder that constantly wants me to go down the cashback route for daily spend. So I don't know. I'm kind of back and forth on it a little bit.
Yeah. But do you remember Dustin's Waller's wallet?
Yeah, actually, I have not thought about that name in so long.
Yeah, well, he ended up bowing out of YouTube, but he was he had a very interesting strategy. I don't know how well it worked for me, but he was a cashback credit card user for daily spend
Yep.
and just supplemented welcome offers on the travel side. So
That's
but
yeah.
I don't think I would be able to sustain the amount of travel I do with just doing that.
So I've made a lot of different kinds of videos like kind of related to that recently. I think that's like the Stan approach as well, right? I mean, that's what Stan
Mhm.
does. He has a daily spend setup that is only cashback, and then he has the travel setup that is supplementary to that. Um, and yeah, I made a video about like the Fidelity card and all that, and I've done a lot of comparisons between the two. And I like what I've gotten to the bottom of it is it's just that if I'm going to be consistently traveling and I'm going to be redeeming at the average cent per point values that I've gotten over the past couple of years, which is, like modestly, for example, would be like 2 cents per point, just with the amount of international travel I do, even just one a year, the cent per point values and the points that I use will carry the domestic travel cent per point. If I'm doing that and I'm traveling consistently, you really can't beat a travel credit card setup because, of course, you want to earn more points to be able to do more travel. But if I was to just commit to cashback for the long term, then that's, of course, where you're going to see those gains just skyrocket. Like, I don't think I'm going to be traveling as much as I am right now for the rest of my life necessarily. So it's like I could start now with the daily spend, getting cashback, and then putting the all the points and miles on the welcome offer cards. But I think I also probably come at this from a perspective of somebody that is more privileged in this space because, like, for example, if I needed more points and miles, I'm fortunate enough to be able to get referrals, and I'm open about that. All my recaps at the end of the year show all my referral points, and so I have like a different perspective than I think the everyday credit card user would. Which again is why I like cards like Chase that give you the cashback or the transfer partner
Sure.
flexibility. But yeah,
That's interesting. See, I can't wait for you to progress in life or at least grow older. And I want you to feel the pain of flying to Europe on airplane points, and when it used to be 60,000 to get there, now you have a wife and kid, and it's
oh no,
210,000 just to get there.
yeah.
I can't wait to talk about that with you when it's 210,000 points just to get there.
Yeah, no, I know. I've thought a lot about that. When I interviewed Max Miles and Points on the channel, and we were talking about like he just had a kid, so it's like immediately all of his points spend goes up by like 33% at a minimum.
It's so much different. It's so
Yeah.
much different. It's not better or worse. It's just different. I think it's better, but
What do you think about that? Like, are you do you see yourself basically always putting spend on the travel cards until you're not traveling as much anymore for daily spend?
no. Here's kind of how I do it. You've seen my videos. You know my strategy is high speed, low drag. If there's a welcome offer, boom, I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a Wells Fargo welcome offer because I know I'm going to use it no matter what it is. So
Mhm.
to keep up with my traveling, I need to get those welcome offers.
Yeah.
So as long as I'm doing that, I think I'm going to be, getting travel points and things like that. But here's what I do. I like to book all my travel for the next 12 months.
Yep.
And there's a lot of disadvantages to that, a lot of disadvantages. But here's an advantage. If I have all my hotels and all my flights scheduled for the next 12 months, then what do I need to earn? Essentially,
Right.
it's whatever I want. So a lot of
Yep.
times what I like to do is just really earn as fast as I can and then schedule out 12 months. And then maybe in February, I just do cash back. Maybe
Mhm.
February and March, I do cash back. And when those balances start to get a little low, I kind of turn the faucet on for the travel points a little more.
Yeah.
The only downside to that is I I change my mind on every single trip I book.
Right.
So even though I've already scheduled them, I'm not taking half those trips.
Yeah.
Listen. I just what did I have booked? I had Costa Rica booked for spring break. Awesome trip. It's a JW Marriott, all this good stuff. Here was my issue. I used Avianca Life miles to get to Costa Rica. I used
Mhm.
Marriott points from my Bonvoy Brilliant for the resort. I didn't book a return flight. So the next 2 weeks, I'm just looking at return flights. I don't really have any way to do it on points. No good way to do it on points. And
Yeah.
the cash price is about $2,500 to get home. So
Yeah, it's a
I
lot.
thought, am I going to pay $2,500 to get home or am I going to go somewhere else? I
Mhm.
canceled it. I'm not paying $2,500 to get back home. So
Yep.
I did that one and I booked Grand Cayman. Seafire Kimpton for Carlos's birthday next year. I feel like, hey, we'll just take him to. He goes, we went there last year. We have to go somewhere else this year. So
You're
I'm like,
starting him too young.
I'm like, he has a point. Why would we go to the same place 3 years in a row? So I canceled that, and so, that's my problem with booking so far out. I changed my mind. But, to answer your question, I like to really accumulate points and then get rid of them.
Yeah.
I like to book everything for a year. And I'm the only person in the credit card game that loves it when my balance hits 0.
Right. You see, and that's the thing is like right now, it definitely is heavily dependent on my travel habits. So like last year I was traveling, flying somewhere mainly domestically. I'm like a domestic kind of everyday traveler for the most part. I do maybe one international trip, like bigger one per year. And so the year before, when I was traveling like flying at least once a month, I needed more points. So I was going for more welcome offers, constantly doing that. But now this year, I've had a surplus all year. Like anytime I need to book a trip, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm fine. Like I have plenty of points right now. So that is what gives me, I guess, opens my mindset up to the idea of the cash back. But I guarantee you, if next year I'm traveling as much as I was the year before, I'd be back more on the mindset of like, I need more points and miles. So I think it's an ever like shifting game. And that's the beauty of it. My problem is that I have a hard time like pulling the trigger on like a cashback card that I know can like sort of compete. Like for example, like the Fidelity card right now, like if I don't commit to using that card for like 10 years and reinvesting all their rewards right now, then it's not going to really match my needs. So I have a hard time like pulling a trigger, wasting a 524 slot on that, even though it probably would be beneficial in a few years. So I don't know. That's my struggle right now. It's just like,
I feel like the Fidelity card is just this week's algorithm, because the card's been around forever. I've had it forever. I couldn't tell you what the difference is between that and any other 2% cashback card.
Yeah, I mean,
I can put any money I want in Fidelity.
Right. That's the thing, right? Like the video I made about it was mainly, and I tried to say it so many times in the video, but of course people don't really listen. But I made that video for people that are, like I said, those in my everyday life that I talk to that don't want to do the points and miles game, and they're just like, I need a card that I can just reinvest my rewards. I already bank with
like
Fidelity.
I said, I use that Fidelity cashback card.
Yeah,
it was a big deal in me buying my first rental property. It was just a great tool to start doing that. It's also situational. It was a time when the market would just went up for 2 years straight.
Yeah,
so it's kind of easy to make money.
That's why we can keep doing these videos, right? Is that everything is constantly changing. Our lifestyles are changing. The cards themselves are changing. The community's changing. Like all of it is just, we can keep doing this for as long as that keeps happening,
So if I could tell you what I think is the optimal strategy for somebody who is hardcore into this, this is what I think. This is what I think some of the big leaguers do. I think they're using cashback credit cards for their everyday spend, and they're using manufacturer spend on their travel points. I don't necessarily do that, and I don't promote it on my channel. I definitely don't talk about doing it, but I think that's where a lot of these people with these super wild points balances and these great redemptions, I think there are safe ways, and there's ways to do that manufacturer spend, but in my opinion, it's work. And I don't really like to work. So
I value my relationship with the banks a little bit too much. Not because I'm like a bank, I really just don't want to eventually not be able to get approved for their cards because I do something wrong on one,
Right.
So I feel like I'm a little bit more risk averse.
I think that's a piece that doesn't get talked about, and I think people get discouraged. They're like, how am I supposed to have 500,000 Amex points? Well, the people that have that either are hoarding those points, or maybe they're getting a little reckless with their sign-up bonuses, or their manufacturer spending, which, like you said, it's not a good idea for everyone.
No.
Like I said, I don't do it. Like you said, I like my relationship with the banks to be mutually beneficial,
right,
for the long term. But I think that's what a lot of people kind of forget. Mr. Jorge Rodriguez gave us with a 5 spot. Hello, Luke and Spencer. I currently use my Venture X as my catch-all. If you were to cancel the Venture X, which would you use as a catch-all, and which for luxury? Now, George or Jorge has a really good point. I think someone said the Venture X is nice, but it really doesn't do anything, special. I disagree.
We can have a debate on this one.
Yeah. Okay. So here,
So
this
I'm in
is
that
what it
camp.
does. This is what it does special. And especially when you're talking about a Chase user, it's the only travel card. And I say travel card because it does have a lot of Visa Infinite benefits. It has lounges, it has hotel programs, it has all these things that a luxury travel card has, and it's a catch-all. And it's a Visa Infinite with no foreign transaction fees, which is not any. It doesn't distinguish it from anything else. But I think it's the only one that you can use for your travel and check out at Walmart with.
Yeah. That's the thing though, right? That's when it comes down to the personal situation. Cause like, for example, like I really don't have a need for that. This is, I'll give you my like quick take on the Ventrex. We can go a little bit back and forth on it maybe, but for me, it is like a $395 catch-all card at the end of the day that I'm scraping back value from the travel credit. Like, yes, it's easy to use, but also, I mean, I don't need that. I could just put $300 on a card and go earn 4x or whatever for hotels and airlines instead. So for me, it feels like just it's kind of like weighing down my wallet for really the only benefit it gives me, since I don't use the Capital One lounges really at all. And now, I'd have to pay for extra lounge access anyway for my girlfriend. The only thing I use it for is a 2x catch-all. So I'm like, at that point, I'd rather have something like a Fidelity Visa, or if you wanted like a double cash, or like the Blue Business Plus, for example, even could be one of your catch-alls. But again, I don't have that restriction of like, I'm not shopping at like Walmart, where I've never had an issue with a card getting not approved, I guess, at checkout.
No, but I mean, it's 2x. You're not, there's not,
right.
That you do have 2x travel cards, but they're going to be something separate from your luxury lounge and insurances and all that stuff. They're going to be separate. This does it all on one card. And I think it's the only one that does that. But I will concede this: if you have other better premium travel cards,
Right.
it kind of makes the Venture X obsolete.
Yeah, I probably should have led with that. Like, that's my biggest thing, especially with all like the calls I do like one-on-one with people and stuff, is like, there's a lot of folks out there that they'll get the Venture X as like a starter travel card, which is what I've always kind of called it, as like a starter premium travel card. And then they go get a Sapphire Reserve or an Amex Platinum. And now that Venture X doesn't get touched at all, except for that $300 annual travel credit and the 2x spend. So it's like, okay, I'd rather not worry about the extra credit to use, and I'd rather just go get a different 2x card. That's how I think about it. But also, I haven't canceled mine, because I also don't want to not be able to. I'm not going to be able to ever get it again. So it's a weird situation.
Listen, I've thought about downgrading it or canceling it, and it's just like it continues to live. And Sleepy Rod has a good point here. It's got JAL now, so it's the only
not a great rate, but
there's no way else to get those points or those miles.
Well, for Built, but yeah, you don't like Built.
Yeah, Bill doesn't exist for me. I mean, maybe one day.
Yeah, but that is true. That's another one of those situations where, yeah.
And one thing I can say about Capital One is I've been a huge Capital One fan and proponent of Capital One, but if I'm comparing ecosystem as far as transfer partners, I got to put them last. I have to.
Wait, say that again. Sorry.
Capital One in the big four we talked about. Capital One transfer partners have to be last.
Yeah,
and I don't even think it's close. I don't so much need the legacy carrier, the domestic airline, but you kind of need one there. And JetBlue doesn't count, because 99% of the country's never seen a JetBlue jet. There's no good hotel transfer partner. They have Choice, and I've defended Choice a lot, but other people have Choice 1 to 2.
Exactly. It's not a good transfer rate. Yeah. That's exactly how I feel too. And it's funny, because I made a video recently comparing the premium cards, and I figured out, I didn't even realize this, that Capital One has the longest list of partners.
Yeah, but a lot.
But they do not have good transfer rates to the ones that you would really want. Like, again, Japan Airlines, it's not a 1-to-1. I mean, I shouldn't say good, but like not competitive compared to other lenders. Choice, Japan Airlines. There were a few others on my list. I can't remember them now, but yeah, I agree with you. Like, that's why I've always reserved my Capital One miles for the international travel. And really, at this point, all I'm doing with them is like just almost trying to get rid of them whenever I go international. Like, I'm going to use them. So at some point, I don't feel as attached to them.
I think JP Knowledge kind of explained his strategy. Like, he gets rid of the Capital One miles first,
Yeah, me too.
because they're the least valuable. So he holds off on Amex or Chase. Yeah, the Venture X, man. I like I asked you if you were going to get down to a certain number of ecosystems. I'm
Yeah.
really trying to consolidate.
Yeah.
So and it's not as easy as I thought it would be much easier. It's so hard.
No.
I've eliminated Citi in my head. I've eliminated Capital One in my head, but I've not been able to do it in real life. And I wanted to move on from Amex.
Yeah.
And they make it almost impossible because of all the offers and the bulk amount of points.
Why Citi for you?
Well, it was the Citi was because I don't like if I'm being really primitive in my thinking and I'm only going to go down to 2 issuers.
Yeah.
Doesn't it have to be Amex and Chase?
Right. Yeah.
Because let's talk about the cons with Chase. No grocery card.
Mm-hmm.
On the other hand, you have the most comprehensive, highest earning grocery card.
Right.
Now, Citi, you do have Citi complements Chase well as well. They do.
Yeah.
And for me, American Airlines is probably more important than any other transfer partner.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the drawback with Citi. Their customer service is bad. I won't debate that. It's just bad. It's the worst of the 4. And they won't give me any cards.
Yep.
They won't give me a card. It's weird. I'm going to try again in about 6 months, but they just won't.
Are you holding off on applications until then, or is it like?
Yeah, I say I am.
That's the thing. I mean, literally, again, I've talked to so many people recently that they've really cracked down on who can get approved for their cards. Like I had someone wait like 4 months since or maybe it was like 6 months since they got a card, 4 months since they had applied for another Citi card, and again another denial. And it's like
I had to apply for the Strata Premier. It was the Premier at the time. I applied 3 times for it.
Yeah, I got really lucky getting it when I did.
I think it's a great card.
Yeah,
I think it's a super card. But I think it's hard for me to come up with an argument to kind of usurp Amex and Chase as the 2 issuers because I got a video coming out Monday where I kind of do that, and I'm even willing to do this, and you might appreciate this. I can only have one high annual fee premium travel card, not for the money, but for the work involved. So I'm only going to have one. So I'm even thinking about alternating years with the Platinum and the CSR because it's so easy to downgrade those. It's super easy to downgrade and upgrade those. So I'm thinking about when the fee hits for my Amex Platinum in March, that gets downgraded and my Chase card gets upgraded to CSR.
Yeah.
Because I just need one. And I completely get that. And then also with Amex, you hope that eventually they give you upgrade offers depending on your spend. Even if they don't.
Yeah. No, I mean, I really resonate with that a lot. Honestly, what I've been saying to a lot is that I want to see, and again, you're not going to maybe care about this. Maybe you do a little bit with the mortgage stuff, but like with Built, if they are able to bring out an actual ecosystem, as in like give cards with welcome offers, give cards that work well together, good earning categories. I mean, they have a great transfer partner list. If all of that becomes more viable, I would love to have Built in that discussion. Because right now, to me, they're just Chase 2.0 with the transfer partners, basically.
I think their transfer partners are tip top, but they're with cardless.
Right, exactly.
I had a cardless card. I had the Avianca Life Miles card with cardless. That is a little bit. That's going to be a lot different than major bank. When you call that number, it's going to be a lot different. Like I don't know if I ever got a hold of anybody from there.
Yeah, I had somebody comment about that as well. That like cardless is just a terrible experience.
Like so I had one small issue, and I don't think I ever got a hold of anybody there, which is the other end of the spectrum with this like the American Express. You can chat, say hey, and get taken care of really quick. And here's my thing with Bill. I would love to do the get earn points on my mortgage, but if I told you what my mortgages were, you probably wouldn't believe me. They're that small. Like they're like I'm such a financially conservative dude. Like I've refinanced my house, but not taken out equity. So what I owe on my homes are you wouldn't believe me. It's Midwest.
Well,
it's even conservative in the Midwest. So I would not earn. Put it this way: 2 homes, I wouldn't earn 1,000 points a month.
That's crazy. God, I need to move to the Midwest.
Well, I don't know. Nobody's on here saying they love Ohio.
I don't know.
Saying they love Texas.
Yeah, no, I get that. Yeah,
So at
that's a
that
good point
point,
too.
I
Yeah.
don't want to put 5 transactions on a card that
Yeah, I think the way I see them is that they have the biggest potential for the next great ecosystem, probably. I mean, they already
they
are
have
a good ecosystem,
they
but
have
they
great.
don't have an ecosystem of cards. That's the problem. They have
Yeah.
one card that I'd never use. I only use for rent. And like they've actually made it so complex in when it comes to like rent day, like all these random different things that they keep adding, these new partnerships. I'm like, it's just too much. Like I just want
Well, that's the game. You
yeah,
have to
it's just
focus on
crazy.
my stuff so you can't use it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a card I like better than the bill card, and nobody will agree with me. So what do you use the bill card for? Rent and dining?
Yeah, renting coffee. Yeah.
Yeah. So I like the Gemini Bitcoin card better than that.
I've heard
It's
yeah.
it's free. It's 4x on gas and EV and 3x
Yeah.
on dining. Instant rewards. And here's why I like it better. This might not make any sense, but Built does have great partners, but so
Mhm.
does the other big four.
Right.
Nobody's given me Bitcoin that might appreciate. If you don't believe in it, you don't believe in it. It's
Right.
not. I'm not passionate about it, but my Bitcoins went up about 8 or 9%.
Mhm.
I barely use the card, but they have these offers, and we see these Chase and Amex offers that are pretty good. But this is a no annual fee card that will give you 10x offers that change every 3 months.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
so you can kind of look at that list and go, I can buy. I mean, something random like creatine gummies. I
Mhm.
like creatine gummies,
Yeah.
and Gemini says, "Hey, you can get 10% back on with Bitcoin on creatine gummies."
Yeah.
Okay, so to me I know that's niche, but
No, I
um,
get it. I mean, I get the sentiment of it broadly. Yeah. That's the thing. There are so many of those like niche cards you can start adding to your setup, and then that only complicates though the ecosystems further. So it's like we're always doing this
yeah,
push. I feel like where it's like, do I go all in this way? But I do agree with you that Chase and Amex, if I had to go down to two,
like how can you pick anybody else?
and it's also like whenever you think about advanced strategies, what are you really doing? You're really churning through the ink cards mainly with
Mhm.
Chase. You're using their transfer partners that are great. And then you have Amex who's constantly giving you, like you said, other offers, either retention
Yeah,
offers, upgrade offers, huge welcome offers. Um, so yeah, that's at the bare minimum, like what I would probably be going with.
and with
Um,
Chase, I know you said how you use the Chase, but um, for whatever reason, with my regular spending, I can earn a lot of Chase points. I have the Freedom Card. If they ever come up with some good quarterly categories, which I haven't used it,
yeah,
I've never used it, but with the Ink Cash, I know you don't like to use it in certain ways, but cable, internet, and cell phones is 5x. That's $500 a month for me.
yeah,
So that's an easy 2,500 UR points a month without doing anything.
right,
And how I kind of use my Ink cards is sometimes I'll use them on utilities.
yeah,
In certain ways. So I could do
right,
5x there, in a sense.
yeah,
So I can really generate those UR points with free cards, for free
yeah.
cards.
Well, yeah, I think literally, if this is the thing is like everybody, whatever in this space, you see them like in the comments, even like on your community posts of us getting on, like people just hate the idea of people liking Chase for some reason. It's like their full time job. I think it's really funny. Um, But if they were to raise the Freedom Unlimited's 1.5 to 2x, everybody and their mom would move back to Chase. Everybody would. That's my opinion, at least. I think they have still a great ecosystem.
I
I
don't
wish
know
the
why people
catch-all
talk
was
about
better.
that though. I don't know why people talk because they're not going to do it.
They're not going to do
Um,
it, but I'm saying like that's how close they are to being like that. That hater's favorite ecosystem, in my opinion. That and
yeah,
524, I guess, but
524. If you know what it is before you start, shouldn't be that
it's
much of
not.
an
Yeah,
issue.
yeah,
If you find out about it a year after you've started, you've kind of like, oh
yeah,
man.
exactly. Then you're just
Yeah,
always gonna hate them.
I think Chase does get. Uh, I think Chase does get a lot of junk, a lot of hate, but I'm guilty of it. I've
Yeah, yeah,
said you don't need them. You can blow past right through there. You don't need them, but um, and I've also said that about Hyatt. But it turns out, no
yeah.
matter what I say, Hyatt is always a good option. And I can tell you,
Right.
here's a reason why Hyatt is so important to me now, and I haven't talked about it, but here's the deal: going to Europe. If I go to Europe with my wife and Carlos, most hotels in Europe are going to make me get a suite or another room, two
Mhm,
rooms.
mhm.
that doubles the price of my hotels. Hyatt is one of the few ecosystems where I can just get a suite on points.
Yeah.
If I go with Hilton to get a room, it's 80,000 points a night. But if I want a suite, it might be 350,000 points a night. It's just not possible.
Right.
Hyatt, it's reasonable and it's possible. So, like we stayed at I don't remember what category it was with Hyatt, but we stayed in Frankfurt, Germany, and it was the biggest hotel room I've ever been in. It was a two bedroom with a kitchen and a living room, and it was not expensive at all. But that wouldn't be even available with IHG. I'd have to get 2 rooms.
Yep.
Which I don't mind.
But yeah, it's just one of those small conveniences that helps a lot. Yeah, and that's the thing is like I always want access to it. Just with my travel habits, I don't think I physically could ever get rid of needing Chase points. I guess just with Southwest and Hyatt, and then the internationals icing on the cake for me. And I wish the points boost feature didn't change, but
right. And Hyatt with the Caribbean all inclusives, it's tough to beat that. It's really tough to beat it when you have that many people.
Yeah,
like with Hilton, I can get a great deal for just me and my wife, but you introduce that third person. But with Hyatt, you can get we went to an all inclusive in Cancun. I think it was Dreams, and I was able to just book the biggest suite they had, and it was reasonable on points. It was a lot of points, but it was possible, and it was a good idea. So Hyatt and Chase create a lot of options and a lot of earning potential.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see what everybody's been saying in here.
Yeah, we've Rod likes the Gemini card.
Nice.
Rich with points. Now, here's the thing. Guys, if you're like me, you listen to the people that are smarter than you. Rich is obviously smarter than me. He's doing coding and stuff and working on computers. So he says it's legit. I love the idea of Bitcoin. So I am a Bitcoin romantic. I'm not, I don't buy it, but I do like earning it. One Bridge 11 says creatine is a precursor for steroids. I don't know if that's true.
Comment.
We'll take your word for it.
He always comes in with the most insane comments.
We'll take your word for it, buddy. You need to reapply for the Wyndham Business Earner again. Let me ask you this, Spencer. You ever applied for a Barclays card?
One, and it wasn't fun. I did the Hawaiian business.
Yeah, I won't do it, but which would you rather have? 5 Wyndham points on utilities, 5% cash back, or 5 UR points?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly why I don't really go for the Wyndham business. It used to be a better card. Didn't they nerf it pretty heavily?
They did the status carousel.
Oh, the status,
whatever they call it.
Yeah, no, that is the thing. Is like, go get a US Bank Cash Plus if you want cash back on utilities or the in cash, and
And those cards are free.
Yeah, exactly.
This one costs money.
And I've never stayed. I don't even know if I've ever stayed at Wyndham.
Here's the deal. If you get this one, you might end up at a daggone Wyndham.
Yeah, exactly.
So no dice, man. No, thank you.
I'm not always just about the 8X.
I'm kidding. I would stay at Wyndham. Has great South American properties, but
it's all jokes.
Background Balloon's got a hot take for the average person: Citi over Amex. Okay, here's what I'll say to that. You're not average, man. You're better than that. If you're here, listen to this. You're not average. Don't put that evil on yourself. You have much more potential than that.
Yeah, you got to define average for that conversation.
Citi's
I think that's the biggest problem. Yeah,
I think you mean the average traveler.
Right. I do think that, I'm not going to recommend my mom go get the Amex Gold and Platinum card, but I would be happy to recommend Citi cards. So I do agree with that. But
my thing is
they're not watching my videos.
Yeah, the average person is not watching this. The average person is not going to transfer any points anywhere anyway.
Yeah,
I don't know any. There's either enthusiasts and nerds that do it, or there's people that just book into a portal. Once you get into transferring points, that leads to, taking it to the next level I think a lot. Oh, Civic says, I always like the unlimited 1.5 to the portal boost. Yeah. And that's true. Everybody justified it that way. My 1.5 is 2.25.
Yeah,
or my
I think that was a
1.5 is
dumb. Honestly, I don't know
1.88
if
or
that's
something.
really the way to justify it. Honestly, I've always kind of been like, yeah, but you could just transfer your points out with another 2x card and get the boost. Doesn't really make a difference at that point. But I will say that now it's like, yeah, he said that Chase has no excuse now not to do it, but they actually technically in their eyes probably have more of a reason to not do it because now they give you up to 2 cents per point. So it's better
If they
than the
don't,
old portal boost.
I don't like when people mention it because here's the thing, guys, they're not going to do it. The Chase folks don't seem to mind the low catch-all. They don't. I mean,
Yeah,
they
again,
never have.
it goes back to again the people that just get the cards because they bank with them, like I did when I started, and you don't venture out anywhere else, and that's fine. That's people need to be they need to learn too, and they need to have their cards too.
MX is king, says Sleepy Rod. People complain about the high fees and coupons, but they're the easiest ecosystem. Yeah, I can't. You can amass a king's ransom full of points with Amex in a short period of time. But like you said, you have to pay, you have to invest, and that's your money and your time because you're going to go to work for them. Now, I do think there's some people, and I say this platinum card, if I'm lying, I'm dying. This platinum card is just too easy for me. Even things that are silly are my Lululemon. I never even listen. Let me do it. This is my admission. For some reason, in the last few years, I didn't know what Lululemon was because my brain read that brand as Lulumon. So whenever somebody would say Lululemon, I had no clue what they're talking. For whatever reason, when I read that, that's what it says, Lulumon.
Yeah.
Now, fast forward to them giving us a credit. I ordered a hoodie. It's the nicest hoodie I have. Yeah. It didn't cost anything. Well,
yeah, no, that's my takeaway from it too. Is like whenever I did a video about the new Sapphire Reserve versus the Platinum, like both of them now. The Platinum before was like I didn't really even. It was good still, of course. Like it's a great card, but for me, it was like I didn't really compare it much to the Sapphire Reserve. Like it was just by far the better card for me, the Reserve. But now I can easily get value from both. So it's like they did a great job with the refresh, I think. But you have to still remember like who they're targeting with that card, right? It is.
I'm warming up to the CSR. I'm warming up to the refresh, and this is the big reason why. The Platinum I love, but let's face it, we're not using the Platinum. And I have a pet peeve with just membership cards. The CSR I'm using for because I'm moving away from co-branded stuff for the most part. So I would use the CSR for hotels, flights, and dining, and any offers that are on it. So I'm warming up to the CSR a lot.
Yeah, I think it's really, really easy to get value from. Honestly, people just love to hate, but it's. For me,
Philip has a really good point here too. Amex works really hard to earn his business with subs, multipliers, customer service offers, upgrade, downgrade offers. They don't restrict you. You don't have to wonder if I can get an Amex card.
Right.
Like you don't have to. I wonder if I can get this business gold card. Oh no, you just apply for it. You got it. So I mean, it's pretty easy. And I think Chase and Amex are different enough, and I think they complement each other enough.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing is when it becomes it's not mutually exclusive. They can be used in combination, but people like to take the sides.
Yeah, and I think like I told you, my next video kind of touches on this.
Yeah,
I think you can do an Amex Chase combo and alternate premium cards.
Yeah.
And here's the
now
thing
you can't. They're almost carbon copies, just in different ecosystems. Yeah.
And with Chase, obviously with Amex, I'm paying fees like crazy. Like it's no way around it. But with Chase, I found a way to earn 5x on a lot of categories for almost nothing. I got $95 into them with the Ink Preferred, which is a great card, by the way. Only reason 95% of us even have Amex cards is because they print MR points like they're the Fed. Yeah, I mean, if they slow or stop, we're out of there. I can't argue with that. If the upgrade, downgrade offers go away, if the retention bonuses, which they have went away a lot, and I think that's due to our community. But if those things do go away and the no lifetime language offers, listen, when people talk about Amex's no lifetime language, I say it's not even true. It doesn't even exist anymore because I've had that gold card twice. I've had 3 platinum cards. I've had 2 or 3 green cards. I think 4.
Oh, you mean like the once in a lifetime language?
Yeah, I've gotten bonuses
Gotcha.
on the same card over and over again. In the
Yeah,
business side, it's all the time.
I will say I feel like you have like the best luck out of anybody I've seen when it comes to getting those kind of offers. Like since we started this, you've always got all the mail-ins. You and Chad, I guess, getting all the
Yeah, I've had like
mailers and all that
3
stuff.
Aspires,
Yeah,
a
like
couple
for
different
me,
surpasses.
the other day I tried to go get a no lifetime language on the Blue Business Plus. They have like 75K offer floating around.
Mm-hmm.
Not targeted for it. Like I can't. Amex does not give me the same offers for some reason.
Hmm.
Maybe because I'm just like newer and they've seen I've already gotten so many cards or whatever. But yeah. Hope if they get rid of those though, then it becomes like, okay, well, if they actually enforce the once in a lifetime, like what are you left with Amex?
Changes the game. Yeah, it changes
Yeah.
the game. And there's no reason not to run through them. But
Right.
after you have ran through them, it's like, well, at least Chase gives you another bonus in 24 months.
Right.
Or
Well,
whatever.
hopefully, yeah. Then they're going to change right after that. That's the thing. We're going down that route.
Yeah. Chase be fine if the flex either didn't have a cap on its earnings and had better. That's not going to happen. It's not going to uncap those earnings. But
Go get you an OG Chase Freedom. You'll be good.
The to combat that, get another one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my complaint is I don't think the categories are always great. Like this one, I have to wait until December.
I know
to do the
changed
PayPal
that this year.
because the other categories I'm not going to use.
At least they do. Like for me, it's like I know I'll do gas and groceries once a year each. That's it though.
Only issue I have with Hyatt is I had to spend money on Ubers and taxis to be where they're not. Yeah. And that's something I don't think a lot of people talk about. If you're an IHG person, you can get city center. You can get right smack dab in the center of Lisbon. If you're on the beach, you can get right smack down oceanfront. If you're a Hyatt guy, you might be 20 minutes away. I told you when I went to Lima, I wanted to stay at the Hyatt. It made sense, but it was in like the financial district. Like I'm a tourist. I don't want to stay where the banks are. You know, and it was nowhere near anything good.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, that comes down to their smaller footprint, I guess. But sometimes I like being a little bit outside of the city, but not like drastically.
Cesar says, what other issuer gives you 80,000 points to hold their premium travel card? Only Amex by playing the real game. The no lifetime language downgrade, just the tip of the iceberg with Amex. And yeah, here's the thing. We've talked about Amex, cutting the supply off for a couple of years now. Doesn't even seem like it's cut. Like listen. I've probably canceled 20 Amex cards. Canceled.
I need your credit profile.
And they just keep giving them to me, man. They give me so many cards that make me nervous.
Yeah.
Like I got the Bonvoy Brilliant card again. Maybe this is it. Maybe this is when they shut down my account.
That's wild. Yeah, I would love Amex too if I was having that experience right now. I've been in pop-up jail, I feel like, for like 2 years, so it's been really tough.
Yeah. Luke, you want Caesar's platinum status to get this salute. Yeah. That was what they took away from the merry-go-round was the Caesars or the MGM, one of the two, something like that. Amex is great, except you try to pay overseas and they don't take it. Well, here's the thing. I don't disagree with that at all. And I can tell you my highest earning years with points was the Amex trifecta and a loan City Business American Airlines MasterCard. And I used the MasterCard when I was overseas, but I earned so much points with the Amex trifecta, it didn't really matter. But you're right.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. And that's why I can't seem to give it up. I love the Capital One duo when I go overseas. Yeah, giant credit limits, no foreign transaction fees.
That's where I used that Chase and Amex duo we were talking about. It was like when I just got back from Italy, it was Sapphire Reserve, and I guess I actually didn't use Amex, but yeah.
Jay says, got the Amex Platinum. Now you need the yoga pants, yellow ones. If you haven't seen the yellow yoga pants, check out my videos. Would you guys recommend Hilton cards? That's a good question. Spencer, I'll let you take that one.
For me, well, obviously there's so much that goes into it, right? Like depending on how many cards you want over time and all that kind of stuff, I think they are the easiest point earning hotel cards out there. I'm sure that they've cut down a lot on the whole carousel method. But the fact of the matter that you can get a welcome offer on 4 different cards with them that are all really high, if not including a free night award attached to them that are uncapped. Like that kind of stuff is, you can't do that with another hotel chain. So I've always wanted to do the whole, like the carousel, getting all 3 of the personal cards, downgrading them, getting upgrade offers. But
You know,
like we
I've
just
never been
mentioned,
offered an upgrade.
I was going to say, like we just mentioned, I don't know how much they're doing that these days, but I would.
I've had them all. I've had them all,
Yeah.
and I've downgraded them all, and I've never been offered an upgrade.
It's very interesting. I guess because you're going for so many offers, but
there's also no lifetime offers all the time. Here's how I would answer it. If you like Hiltons and you like uncapped free nights, get all of them.
Yeah.
Because like Spencer said, you can stack those points fast, and you can stack. Put it this way. I needed 1.2 million to take 10 people to Cancun, and I in 6 months I had 1.2 million.
Yep.
Now, whether you want to do all that in one shot, it's not for everybody, but I needed it. I got it. It's easy to do.
Yep.
I critique. By the way, Uncle Luke, don't bother going to the Ritz in New Orleans because it isn't that great. Hey, I critique. We do the Roosevelt in New Orleans. I don't know what it is, but me and my wife love that property. We love the people that work there.
That's where we did the dinner for the meetup,
yeah,
right?
We had dinner there, yeah. And they have a cool rooftop pool. We just had a lot of good experiences there. So when it comes to New Orleans, I'm looking at the Roosevelt first. I don't know if there's better hotels there, but we just the experiences we've had there. And
for the Chase folks, go ahead. Sorry.
It just we got an upgrade that felt good.
Yeah, I was gonna say for the Chase folks, whenever we did the meetup, I stayed at the Kimpton Fontenot there in New Orleans with IHG through the Edit collection. So now it'd be even better to stay there with the Edit, getting 2 cents per point, getting the Edit credit,
Kimpton's
and
getting
upgrades. Man. Yeah, that was one of our favorite hotels we've been at, and it was great.
Love New Orleans, man. I felt unsafe walking around Bourbon Street. Well, that's understandable. I would. Here's the thing. I love New Orleans. I love going there. I go there as much as I can. It's probably the only place, Bourbon Street, the only place I've ever been where the predators are out in the open. Like you can, with my background and everything like that, I'm very aware of my surroundings and very aware of my safety at all times. And New Orleans, Bourbon Street, you can look and see the dangers. They're not hiding. They're not. So, the only thing we do on Bourbon Street is we might walk through Bourbon Street on our way to the Roosevelt.
Right.
And I'm an old man, so we're doing that at 9:30. So,
dude, I have a story about that too. I showed up, and no, it couldn't have been for that meetup. Yeah, it was a different time. I was driving through New Orleans. I did a road trip out to Savannah. And I had a Hyatt that I did not know was on Bourbon Street whenever I booked it. This was like
it's
2 years
loud
ago.
Is it?
Yeah, it was really loud. And I showed up, since it was a road trip, I showed up at like midnight. All the doors were locked. So I got there in my car. There's no parking, first of all. So I had my car and I had all my camera gear, like 10 grand worth of like camera gear, laptop in my backpack. And I had to walk out with nothing. Had to valet for like $100, first of all, because there was no safe parking lot. And they're like, yeah, if you go park yourself, it's going to get broken into tonight. And I was like, that's great. And then I couldn't get in there. All the doors were locked. So I had to like call somebody to come let me in on Bourbon Street with my backpack and all that stuff on. I was like, no, this is not it. But it worked out. Next morning was beautiful. 8 a.m. on Bourbon Street, beautiful.
Yeah. New Orleans is an acquired taste, and I understand that a lot of people do not like that taste. But Bourbon Street, I put that separately from the city of New Orleans.
Absolutely.
Because I don't spend any time there. If I was younger, it might be fun, but
yeah, but it's the same thing as like if you're coming to Austin and you just go to Dirty Sixth, like 6th Street, I mean, you're not doing Austin right. So
yeah, and that New Orleans has a lot of places to grab drinks and great food. I wouldn't consider Bourbon Street one of those places. I critique says if you could only this is good for you, Spencer. If you only choose one credit card trifecta, that's easy for you though, right?
Yeah. I mean,
you're doing the Chase really, with the CSR.
It's really tough to not go that route. Like I want to be more creative than that, but if I could only have one, I would have to go that route. The Chase trifecta, I'd use the Freedom Unlimited, even though I wouldn't want to sacrifice that 0.5. It would just make sense. And then the CSR for me, the Sapphire Reserve is just great. It's my travel card of choice. It fits my exact travel habits. But each one is so powerful. again, like the earning setup, for example, going city for a lot of people is really great if you like American and their transfer partners. But yeah, for me, it'd have to be Chase. As much as people hate it.
I hate to answer it this way, but any of them.
It
If I can
really,
only have one, for me, if I could only have one, they're all the same. I probably couldn't do the Amex trifecta because I have to have a Visa or a MasterCard. As much as I would love to have that,
I'm trying to
using a
think of
debit
like,
card.
I'm trying to think of another option for me. It's just like if I was sitting here, knowing that I have to fly Southwest for like most of my flights to get the cheapest point deals, I literally can't go another option. So
I would do
an interesting
Chase
question.
with the CSR. I would do Chase. I would do Chase Business, the Inc. trifecta.
Yeah.
I would do the City trifecta in a number of different combos. I would even do Chase Strata Elite, Chase Strata, or not Chase, City Strata Elite, City Strata, City Double Cash. I think.
Oh, you go double cash out of that one with the 1.5 on the Elite.
Oh, that's a good point. I see
that the custom. Maybe
the custom cash doesn't do much for me.
Yeah. Until you have like multiple for big spenders, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Really do
where
much.
do I use it? I don't use gas anymore.
Oh, you're an EV.
If it's for dining, we spend more than that, I think.
Yeah. With a big family, 500's not.
But the Strata Elite would be the dining one because we eat out every Friday and Saturday.
Yeah. I just, that's my video that's coming out next week is about like just city cards in general. And talking about like how much hype they've been getting recently. And like,
I think they're strong. I think they're very strong. Yeah,
they are. But I kind of got down to the point where I was like, I think what they want you to do is basically either go the OG City trifecta with the Strata Premier, custom cash, double cash, or go Strata Elite and just normal Strata card. Like those are the two.
Yeah,
paths,
they complement each other really well.
Yeah.
Great question, guys. We're at 8:30 almost.
Oh my gosh, went quick.
We did miss a. Uncle Luke said day drinking in New Orleans is the best. I agree with you. Lafitte's Black Shop with the purple zombie, the purple drink. That's my that's my weapon of choice over there. And say Hyatt goes dynamic. How does the game change for y'all? It changes.
Yeah, it definitely.
You got to look at that. Dynamic doesn't mean the end of the world, though.
No. It would literally just be dependent again on like what trips you're taking and how much that really devalues the currency.
Here we go. This is one of the best to end on.
There you go.
Ahmad said it's my favorite YouTuber, Spencer Johnson.
Ahmad's my guy. We go way back.
All right, guys, it's 8:30. Your football is about to come on. The only thing I want to say is kind of what I say every time. The first people I want to thank is you guys in the audience, you guys in the community. We got the best community in the game here. It's so positive and so helpful, and I can't say enough about you guys. You guys are G's. I also want to say thank you to Spencer. I know he's a super busy content creator, and come on our little channel here and entertain us tonight. We've been talking since you started your channel, so it's cool to see your progress.
No, I really appreciate you having me. This is literally like, it was like the highlight of I've been waiting for this. I've been talking to my girlfriend about it. Like, I'm so excited. So hopefully maybe we'll come do one on mine.
If you have not subscribed to Spencer's, go check it out. Much different perspective than me for most of this stuff. And like we said, it's a million different ways to skin a cat or whatever, however the saying goes.
Yeah. Now we'll get you over there. Yeah. And if anybody's in here from my channel and you, for some reason, have not seen Luke's, you got to subscribe to Luke's. Don't leave without doing that.
Oh man, says everybody leave a like and a sub. we're almost to like some. I think I'm almost 23,000.
Yeah, you're actually really close. Yeah.
Yeah, I like to celebrate those little barriers. So
yeah, Luke, let's get you on the get you on a live stream of mine soon too, and we'll start making this more of a thing because I do think it's great that we have different perspectives on a lot of this stuff. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's like I think what people forget a lot in this space is that we're all in the same game, and that's making money from the bank.
You really can't do this wrong. The only way you can do this wrong is if you leave a balance on your credit card.
Exactly.
Yeah. No matter what else,
we're not doing that here.
No, in the comments. Nobody's doing that. Nobody. All right, guys. I want to say goodnight. I got to get my beauty sleep, but like I said, thank you. We'll see you next week. All right. This usually takes